Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing the Phyrexia All Will Be One Sealed Qualifier Play-In Event. This is an entry-level competitive event anybody on Arena can get into for 20 play-in points, 4,000 gems, or 20,000 gold. The goal is to get 6 wins before 2 losses to gain entry into the invitation-only Qualifier Weekend event next weekend. That is the super competitive event. That is 2 days long. You have to get 7 wins before 2 losses day 1, and then 7 wins before 2 losses day 2. If you do that, you do get qualification into the Pro Tour. But it is a very long and winding road, and you need to win a lot of games. So that is the goal at the end of the tunnel, but for me today, I'm just happy to take these 20 play-in points that I can't use to do anything else, and turn them into at least 500 gems. So without further ado, let's bust open these packs and see what we get to build today. I almost spent gems, that would have been bad. Alright, we do have some particularly powerful rares here. Miglaw's Maze Crusher in red-green being a ridiculous card, a 3-mana 4/4 with a ton of upside. Really hard to block this card well because of the ability to give it +2/+2 at instant speed. You can't kill it with enchantment-based removal because it can just destroy enchantments, and you can even give it Vigilance and Menace to get extra hits in. So Miglaw's is absurd. Glissa Sunslayer is also absurd. First Strike and Death Touch means she's pretty much impossible to kill in combat. Your opponent has to have a removal spell for her, and they need it fast. There's also Dragon Wing Glider, being another super absurd card, just a tiny bit weaker than Miglaw's and Glissa, but still pretty ridiculous. And the best thing about this is because it is a red card, it will fit into the same decks that Miglaw's goes into, so pretty happy with this sealed pool. We do have like Monument to Perfection and a couple lands not being particularly exciting, but these 3 rares are premium cards. So hopefully we've got some good green and red to go for a green-red deck there, maybe even splash in Glissa if we have good mana fixing. But before we look into that, we're going to do what we always do, check out our multicolored cards and our colorless cards to see what kind of mana fixing we have and what potential color pairs might be good to build. So first off, Mirror Kinsmith and Custodian do nothing, so they don't really matter, but Double Dune Mover is a huge start to helping splash in a Glissa Sunslayer, and Terramorphic Expanse is probably going to be enough. We could go Expanse, Double Dune Mover, and just play like 1 swamp, and that's 4 black sources in the deck already. So that is pretty exciting. It could also go the other way around towards splashing red, but one of our red bombs is a double red card, so pretty excited by the Double Dune Mover Terramorphic Expanse there. Looking at multicolored, we of course have Miglaw's and Glissa, but we also have Charforger in Rakdos in black-red. Pretty good value even if you don't have any synergy. A 3-mana 2/3 that spits out a 1/1 maybe eventually draws you 1 card. Pretty strong, so if we're already splashing in black, that could be interesting. And then Cephalopod Sentry is in the complete opposite direction of all of our rares, so not super likely we play that, unless our green, black, and red commons and uncommons are just complete unplayable garbage. We're very likely to be playing these colors. So let's check out each color individually now. So I always like to check things out in Wooburg order, so we're going to start off with our white, which actually does look really powerful. We have 3 copies of Planar Disruption, being the really big draw to white, an incredible cheap removal spell. We also have the Crawling Chorus on turn 1, which is great for toxic decks, into a turn 2 Duelist of Deep Faith. If we can corrupt our opponent, we have the Incisor Glider getting a bunch of extra damage in, and the Indoctrination Attendant and Basilica Shepherd are the best 4 and 5 mana cards for the toxic decks. So just white looks like a really, really good core color to a powerful toxic deck in our sealed pool with just excellent removal and some great toxic creatures. So it's actually kind of interesting. Again, unless our green, red, and black are really bad, we're probably not going to jump ship. But if we do, white is looking like a pretty solid color to do that with. Taking a look at our blue, the color is pretty empty and not the greatest. I do like Eye of Malcator in draft in really artifact-heavy decks, and we kind of do have enough artifacts for it. 3 Experiment, a Transplant Theorist, and a Meldweb Strider, but that's kind of the only thing going for blue. The Experiments without any artifact synergy are just really filler, So like when we're not doing Eye of Malcator and Transplant Theorist stuff, we're not going to be very happy with them. And there's just the one Mesmerizing Dose for removal, and kind of a low count of blue cards in general. Blue looks pretty average here. It's not bad, but it's not really worth talking too much about here. Taking a look at our black now, it looks like the only thing our black could do decently is some toxic stuff with 2 Pestilent Siphoner and a Blight Belly Rat. Other than that, not a ton going on. Centurion's just not great without a boatload of synergy. Grimnarts are 6 mana, so you can't run too many copies of them. Vat Emergence is just not great. Offer Immortality and Necrogen Communion also pretty filler. Black looks, again, pretty average, maybe a little below average. Not super pumped about the color, just no good removal is a huge downside. Well, here is a color I am tremendously happy with. Good lord. So not only do we have Dragonwing Glider and Miglaws in red, we have 2 Hex Gold Slash and a Volt Charge for premium instant speed removal. We also have a really aggressive curve. We have 4 Sawblade Scamps. I don't even know if I'm going to run all 4, but we'll definitely run Fuseling and Engraver. And at 2 mana, we technically have a pretty aggressive curve here as well because we have 2 Barbed Batterfist that are premium 2-drop creatures for any red deck, and a Hex Gold Halberd, another premium 2-drop creature for a red deck. And then, not only do we have Double Slash and Volt Charge for common removal spells, we have the uncommon instant speed removal of Rebel Salvo, which is a ridiculously good deal for its mana cost at instant speed. We have Furnace Strider to win the game at the top end. We have the Dragonwing Glider to win the game at the top end. This is just ridiculous. Red is the best color we've looked at so far by a mile. And now we have a look at our green, and I tell you, sometimes your sealed pools just build themselves. It's not often, but sometimes it happens. Our green is not as ridiculous as our red, but we have some of the best commons and uncommons in the color, particularly the Contagious Vorak being a very good 3-drop. Predation Steward is just fine, but then we have green removal as well with Infectious Bite and the Incubation Sac that can be really good value throughout a long game. So it's looking like this deck is probably going to be red as the #1 color, with a bit of green for cards like Vorak, Sac, Bite, Predation, stuff like that, maybe a Battle Chair at the top end, and then our 1 Swamp for the Glissa, but that's a super great place to be here. Let's go ahead and build this deck. Alright, and here's a look at the deck here. It's going to be some ridiculous Jund beats, mainly just like red-green aggro, primarily in red here, but we just have so much cheap removal alongside a really aggressive curve. 5 1-mana creatures, 7 2-mana creatures. That's just insanely aggressive for sealed. Even in this format, that's just a ton of cheap cards. And we have all the removal to back them up. Double Slash, Volt Charge, Salvo, Infectious Bite, and Ruthless Predation. We didn't end up playing like Titanic Growth in here because we're just running every removal spell instead to get things out of the way. And we have, of course, 3 incredible bombs between Glissa, Miglaws, and Dragonwing Glider to win a lot of games. We've even got some great late game value with Incubation Sac being able to be 3 creatures off this 1 card if the game does grind out. But I think a lot of games here are going to be ending really fast one way or the other with this deck, so this looks pretty absurd, and we're going to call it a deck here and get into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1. We can haste out a Scamp, then play a 2-drop, then play a 2-drop and a 1-drop if I hit another Mountain. I mean, we keep the hand and we go crazy here. We get real aggressive, as is the plan. Opponent starts with a tap land, Autonomous Furnace. There's our Black Source from Terramorphic Expanse. Should be nice in the future. Let's drop our Batterfist here for the highest power on the board and also get an oil counter on the Scamp to shoot our opponent for 1 later on, when it can no longer attack well. Opponent plays a land and passes. We probably drop Steward here. I guess I could play Steward and Fuseling, just don't play the tap land. Feels like what we want to do. Hits the 4, drop a Steward, drop a Fuseling, and they've got to do something big here to recover because we are just curving out like nobody's business. That is 4 creatures on board, turn 3. Mesmerizing Dose on one of our creatures is going to do a little bit of work, but they're still taking a lot of damage here. And there's another hasting creature. Sawblade Scamp it is. Just send it in. They are down to 8 now. We'll drop our Terramorphic and pass the turn. I do have one double red card in this deck, so I might... Ooh, that's actually not very good for me. They take my 2/2 and they can use it to block here. Blue Sun's Twilight is kind of a Mega Bomb. That's an issue. Big 2-for-1. Kill my creature and get a creature of their own. At least it's tapped here. And they don't have a follow-up place, that's good. So, I don't know if I hold Terramorphic here, because if I draw Dragon Wing Glider, I'll need double red. So I have one card in my deck that needs double red. I also have the one card that needs black, which is Glissa. I guess if I draw Dragon Wing Glider, I don't even have enough mana anyway, so I suppose I do just grab the black source. But I could also use the second red to play 2 red spells in one turn, which is possible. We just draw a red spell alongside Engraver. Only draw we get punished by is if we draw Glissa, but we're also just likely to draw another red source. Like, way likelier to draw another red source than a black source. So yeah, now we can just double these up and that's fine. So we play Dune Mover and Engraver, and I am not going to search for a land. We don't actually want to draw a land right now. And then next turn we will spend our mana, if we have nothing else to do, to move the Batterfist over to the Engraver to hit a little harder. So they go block, block, take 3, take 4 because we drew a Scamp. So they can block and kill Engraver. They can trade here, but then they take 4 damage and Fuseling gets a little bigger. Yeah, put them to 1 against Sawblade Scamp's ability next turn. Yep, lose 2 creatures, make the Fuseling 2 bigger, and of course have the Scamp that can also just shoot them in the face. And there you have it, an incredible game 1. Ridiculous, ridiculous stuff from this deck. The curve is just insane. We just fight right through that Blue Sun's Twilight without a care in the world as we move into game 2. Alright, here we are in game 2. This hand is significantly slower, but really explosive. Batterfist into Miglaws into Dragon Wing later. We probably have to just Terramorphic for the red here and be pretty cool with that. We're on the play again, which is obviously a pretty huge advantage. And we'll take every advantage we can get here in this competitive event. Exuberant Fuseling turn 1 from our opponent. Want to offer the trade of Batterfist into that? Not really, I'll just go for a Halberd instead. And this will force my opponent to shoot a removal spell at this if they want to get in. We might lower a removal spell out of their hand, or get a removal spell out of their hand for Miglaws to do things. I'm actually very okay with that. Sack their Fuseling to just kill the Halberd, that is a-okay with me. Offer the 2/2 for 2/2 trade, seems fine. Just get that thing out of the way. And here's Miglaws. Volt Charge does not kill this, Hexgold Slash does not kill this. Nothing green kills it without a creature on board. There's a Canker Bloom that is not big enough, but they could have a combat trick. They could have the Free from Flesh for +2/+2. I've got this nice little Volt Charge here if anything weird happens. I also have Miglaws' ability that I can use too. So a lot of ways to make sure Miglaws doesn't die to the 1 mana +2/+2 trick. Alright, looks like we will just hit for 4. Then I think we play Batterfist and Sack here. Sack is a good target for their Canker Bloom, but worst case scenario, we just spent 1 mana to kill their 3/2 if they do blow up our Sack, which is still a pretty good deal. So we'll go ahead and do that. Play Batterfist. Play Sack. The only thing that's unfortunate about this is we're not holding up Volt Charge for if they have Ruthless Predation, +1/+2 to the Canker Bloom and it fights something. But if they have that, they still have to trade Canker Bloom and Predation into Miglaws, so it's a 2-for-1 to kill our Miglaws, which is fine. We have other threats here, obviously. Ruthless Predation, they are not going to use it on Miglaws because they would lose the Canker Bloom and the Predation, but they might have that and an additional copy, or that and an Infectious Bite, but that looks like a no. Miglaws is going to stay on board. Canker Bloom and Adaptive, they've got some pretty good stuff too. Sack is sorcery speed, isn't it? Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. If that were instant speed, it would be incredible here. Still probably worth it to just use the sack and save these removal spells. Instead of trying to do these at instant speed right now. I don't think these are currently necessary, especially when we have Glider coming up. I guess we'll have to kill Canker Bloom before we play Glider, but Miglaws is enough to kill them. They just leave this Canker Bloom around. Yeah, just using sack seems super fine to me. There's a Flame Stoker. That can refill their hand later. Needs some oil on it to do so. But yeah, discard your hand, draw 4. Could be big. They are going to go ahead and blow up our Incubation Sac, so Dragon Wing Glider is free to go. Happy to see that. And if I don't hit a land, then I can just freely hold up these spells. So yeah, don't hit a land, so we'll just play Scamp so that when I do play a burn spell, we do get a counter on the Scamp. And then I don't think Batterfist is actually good on anything here, because it would make Miglaws 3 toughness, which would die to a double block if I don't spend some oil. And if I put Batterfist on the Golem, then it dies to a single block from Adaptive, so I think I'm just playing Scamp and holding up Volt Charge over equipping Batterfist and holding up Salvo. Volt Charge also can put some more oil on the Scamp, and the Miglaws is nice. They could double block my 3/3 and I only kill the Adaptive. 7 mana to use this, right? Oh, this is going to be a trick. +2/+2. Free from flesh would be +4/+4. It's going to be Hex Gold Slash. I think I just Volt Charge then. Flamestoker's 7 mana. It's going to be 6 mana. They have 5. If they tap out to draw 4 cards, they just die. So yeah, we kill Adaptive here. And they just scoop them up. That's going to be a pretty quick 2-0. Some really disgusting stuff that game with some bombs for sure. Well, mainly just Miglaws. I guess we didn't get to cast the Glider. But yeah, ridiculous stuff from the deck. 2-0 heading into game 3. This is the worst hand we've drawn by a lot. Still feels super keepable. Like, our opponent's on the play, but we get to go 1-drop, 2-drop. Then we have the 5-drop for later. If we draw anything middle of the curve, we're good. Pretty high on lands, but we are a 16 land deck here. Yeah, I think we keep this. See what our opponent's up to. Forest into a Skull Bomb. Uh-oh. Immediately hit another land. About the only thing we don't want to see. We're at about 34% of the deck being lands now, so about 3/4 of our draws should be non-land. Oh. Speaking of non-land, Miglaws is pretty good in the middle of this curve. Gives me something particularly good to do with my mana on turn 4 as well. We can just start dumping mana into these abilities if I don't hit a 4 mana card. A Miglaws of their own? That's not fair, Magic. I'm the Miglaws man. Miglaws on the play is better than Miglaws on the draw, so we have issues. We have issues here. Yeah, we kind of have to just sit here now. That's horrifically bad. Yep. That's pretty disastrous. We do have Rebel Salvo in here. Volt Charge, we could 2-for-1 to kill it. Predation, we can 2-for-1 to kill it. Still have a lot of outs. Obviously Glissa. Dragon Wing Glider. Actually, Glider dies to Miglaws because it can blow up an artifact. Feels like we're just going to get a taste of our own medicine here. Miglaws on the play beats Miglaws on the draw, and we move on to round 4. Kind of feels like where we're at. But we'll see. We're going to stick in here for as long as it takes. Hex Gold Halberd, that's pretty bad against Miglaws. They can just blow it up. We still get a 2-2 out of it though. And if they blow it up, they remove 3 of their oil counters. We get another counter on Scamp by playing it. Better than casting nothing this turn. Kuldotha Cackler, and pass the turn. Get ping with the Scamp in there. Draw another Scamp. Just play Furnace Strider as our biggest blocker. And pass here. We've got a big enough board state. Our opponent does kind of have to draw some stuff. Have to at least play like a couple more creatures to start getting in. Viral spawning. Well, we'll definitely want to make sure we can kill that creature so they can't flash that back later. Then a menace card, and that's it. That's their hand. Now would be the perfect time to draw the removal for Miglaws if we're super lucky. Crossed fingers. We do have a lot of removal spells, but not a lot that are big enough to kill that. Land is obviously not, but we could have top decked Predation, Infectious Bite, or Rebel Salvo there to guarantee the kill on Miglaws while they were tapped out. Instead, we are just on play a Scamp and pass. We could go ahead and put a Halberd on Strider also while they're tapped out. My blocks are really bad though without Strider. It's not like the Strider has Vigilance, but I could make it a 5 power first striker. They could triple block with 2-3, 3-3, and 3-3. I don't even think getting the damage in is super worth it here. Yeah, I think we just have to pass. Skitterfang is immediately winning this top deck war pretty hard. We were both empty-handed, now Skitterfang is going to give one of their creatures potentially lifelink every turn, vigilance every turn, death touch, whatever ability they need here, and really going to make their combat absurd. So yeah, they're even going to skull bomb the Cackler, and we'll see what Skitterfang's going to do to it. Lifelink or death touch would be my guess. Flying. I guess they could just flying with Skitterfang 3 turns in a row, try to get a 3 attack lethal, but they just hit for like 5 3 turns in a row, it's not going to be lethal. It does hit for 7 right now, though. Yeah, that's pretty horrendous. Skitterfang for just 3 turns of flyer is actually probably lethal. Alright, now I would like literally any removal so we can kill the Skitterfang or the Cackler. Doesn't have to be removal big enough to kill Miglaws. They are tapped out. Forak is definitely not it, but isn't a land at least. Pick up this Expanse to grab our swamp, and that'll pull 2 lands out of the deck. Now there's only 7 lands left in the deck. Which means we might actually have more removal spells in the deck than lands now. Close. We have 6 removal spells and 7 lands. Those are our outs. That's what we want to hit. Cross our fingies. Flying Miglaws hits for 9 maximum if they remove all the counters here. If they top deck growth, we would just die. I guess we'd go to 1, we wouldn't be completely dead. I guess we're dead. We're just really not the winning draws for this matchup. They just send the cackler into the sky. It attacks for 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess if they play another oil card, we're dead. We're actually not. We're really close to dead on board, but not quite. Any kind of trick gets them there. Yeah. I think this matchup was really winnable. We just hit no interaction all game, which is always going to be rough. And then just get a taste of our own medicine there. We got 2 games with the huge advantage of being on the play. And now we have our opponent with the huge advantage of being on the play there for the on-play Miglaws. Yeah, we're dead. Now Thrun goes into the sky and kills us. I guess we have one more draw step. Wow. That's really sad. Halfway through the deck, 0 pieces of interaction. Every single one of our pieces would kill Skitterfang and give us a few more draw steps here. Yep. Unfortunate one. 2 and 1. Definitely getting a taste of our own medicine there. Well, here we are on the play again. That's a good start. Sack into Engraver is not that aggressive, but we have 2 pieces of removal, which would have both been super, super helpful last game, so I'm just going to slam dunk keep that. Sack turn 1. And pass the turn. Forest from our opponent. Well, now I've got an aggressive card to play. We'll just drop a Halberd here. Nice little aggro dork to get things started. Predation Steward from our opponent. Not particularly worried about it. We'll let it stay. Drop the second mountain that we would need for a Dragon Wing Glider, and then play Engraver. Next turn we go Forest, use the sack most likely. Combat trick to kill Engraver. I wouldn't be that worried about it. I don't need to loot away any cards anytime soon because I'm going to just be making a bunch of 3/3s on board. I think I have enough gas to trade Engraver into a combat trick. It's only going to filter 2 cards away. Oh god. That was about as perfect as things could have gone for them with Crescendo. If they have a 4th land in hand, because then they just go land Rabble next turn, which is pretty disgusting. I could play Batterfist and hold up Salvo to kill the Rabble, but I think I'd rather just trade a 3/3 Golem into it if they play the Chimney Rabble. Fingers crossed, no 4th land? Yikes. Yeah. Incredible deal from Blazing Crescendo there. Win the combat and get your 4-drop exactly on curve. Furnace Strider as soon as I hit 1 more land. Send this in, they can't kill it. Play another 3/3 most likely. I do want to Volt Charge before I use the last counter on the sack, obviously. There's a Furnace Strider, that's fine. We've got a Salvo for it. 5 mana, do I play my own Strider or do I Salvo plus Volt Charge here? Could go Salvo plus Batterfist. But I think I'm just playing my own Strider. Although it would be nice to just always have Salvo up in case something funky happens and they try to combat trick up to kill my Strider. Yeah, we can get pretty aggressive here as well, getting the Strider out of the way. So we'll play Batterfist to get the cost reduction so that Salvo costs 1. Then I'll kill the Strider, and we can just attack in super well here. They can double block and kill my 3/3, and then take 3 from my other creature. Or they can take 6. Alright, kill the 3/3, take 3. Feels pretty good. Venomous Brutalizer, just kind of a 4/4, not that worried about it. Sort of a 4/4, no text pretty much. Play our own Furnace Strider here. I don't think I have another Axiom thing, so I should play this land. I don't have another way to discard cards to draw. So we do play the land here. Get on the Furnace Strider train. Oh, I always do that. Now we're in combat. Good combat trick to kill here, but they do not have one, so they're down to 7. Contagious Vorak, well there's our Volt Charge target, but we could also Volt Charge with some First Strike for value. Or Volt Charge a double block, so we're probably just holding this up and using it during combat next turn. They find an Autonomous Furnace, so land they can draw a card off of. Oh, we might Volt Charge a Skitterfang. Although it only does things on the aggressive, it doesn't help them on blocks. It's not actually the craziest here. But it can just keep giving lifelink, which is frustrating. And that's the play. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot the Skitterfang. We are corrupted. Can shoot Skitterfang, make a 3/3, haste it. Yeah, that seems more than good enough here. What happens if they block my 2/2? They take 4... They go to 1 life if they block my 2/2. We attack all then. They're gonna go to 1. That is immensely bold. So you know I'm at least getting a hasting 3/3 next turn if they don't kill Strider here. I have 4 creatures out attacking. Yep, they are not going to have enough, but I guess if they just traded Vorak into 3/3, it would be the same creature count either way, right? Because it would be 4 attackers against 2 blockers. If they traded Vorak into a 3/3, then it would be 4 attackers against 1 blocker. They would just stop 1 more point of damage and be at 2, but when every creature hits them for enough. Yeah, that was actually the right block. I'm a doofus. Because no matter how they block, they're going to like 2 life, and any creature is going to kill them, so might as well try to keep their number of blockers up. Makes sense. Either way, very good stuff from our deck there, and we are going to be 3-1, which is a very nice spot to be. Of course, having 1 loss is pretty spooky because it's 2 losses and you're out, but no matter what, we're getting 3,000 gems out of this for our 20 play points we paid, so feels like a pretty good deal. Going to get 2 extra drafts later, which is quite nice. Heading into round 5 now. Opponents on the play here, we have turn 2 Dune Mover, turn 3 Glissa, and then we really need to draw Mountain after that. But we're on the draw, so we get to see what we draw in our first 2 turns before I decide what I Dune Mover. If I hit a Mountain naturally, the hand's incredible. If I don't hit a Mountain naturally, I might have to just Dune Mover for a Mountain and play all these cards. But on the draw, I think I keep this every time. Because if I like top deck Mountain, we're golden. If I don't, I can Dune Mover it. Oh my god. Yeah, now I can just go Scamp, Dune Mover, Glissa, which is disgusting. But yeah, we have a backup plan that makes the hand still only have 1 dead card, like only Glissa is uncastable. And if things go right and we find a Mountain in the first couple draws, then the hand is beautiful. Oh my god. What do you play first? What do you play first? Glissa or Miglaws? That's the question. That's the question here, isn't it? I feel like I grab Miglaws first so I can just blow up their incubation sac. And I would rather have Miglaws die to a removal spell because the only thing that can kill Glissa is a removal spell. So I would rather they just kill Miglaws with removal here. And then just the world is Glissa's oyster. She can do whatever she wants. If we pull out their removal for Miglaws. They just have a 2/3 here. Would I rather just kill the sack before they can do anything with it? Or play the Glissa? 3 mana to kill the sack? Not putting anything else on the board here? I feel like it's worth it. I mean, we're sort of killing 3/3/3s over time. No board wipes really, though. Glissa can die to like a Volt Charge, so I feel like saving Glissa for like as late as possible feels good. I'm just gonna kill the sack here. That feels good enough to me. And we still hit for 4. They have like no good blocks. They just have a single 2/3. They go down to 11 now. Migloz has guaranteed a 2-for-1 now. And hit them for 4. Now they have a Chimney Rabble. And they're gonna attack me here. They're gonna try to outrace us, I suppose. Fair enough, no blocks. I'm into the race. Another Scamp. I can only play... I could play Glissa and Scamp if I want to play 2 spells this turn. Actually does look kind of fine. That's the only way that I play 2 spells. Yeah, sure, let's go for it. Trade a Scamp into the 1-1 and hit them for 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we trade Scamp for 1-1, hit them for 7, and then next turn they're just dead to Volt Charge. Because we Volt Charge their face and then tap one of our Scamps. We're like just so good here, it's ridiculous. Because like, if they kill Glissa, then we just Volt Charge face and shoot them. If they kill our Scamps both with Hazardous Blast or something, then we just kill them with Migloz and Glissa. I feel like there's like no way out here unless they somehow kill us, and that's not going to kill us. So we send in... Do I Furnace Strider and send in everybody? Or I'm on just the Scamp Volt Charge plan, because that's going to be 4 oil counters among these, which is 4 damage, and Volt Charge is, of course, 3 to face. I mean, I'm definitely attacking Migloz and Glissa. Maybe I attack with them and hold up Volt Charge. Glissa's attack is so free. I guess Migloz, it's better to hold up Volt Charge and Migloz's ability. If they let Migloz in, they just die. I probably send in Dune Mover as well. But I guess they could just go like that, and then just trump Migloz with the 2-3. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just do that. Okay, so they're going to force me to use the ability here. Remove 2 oil counters. I think... Oh, they're taking the 3? Okay, well then they're just dead. Never mind. They're taking the 3. So we just Volt Charge the face. I was going to say, even if they weren't taking any damage, then I think it would still be better to Volt Charge the face than one of their creatures so that the Scamps can find that kill more easily in the future. Alright. Well, that was obviously ridiculous. That was not a very... None of these... I don't feel like any of the games of Magic today have been very fair for anybody. The wins and the losses have been ridiculous. None of our opponents have deserved what's coming to them here, so 4-1 now as we head into Game 6. We really are the villains today. We really are. Opponent is on the play here. We can Terramorphic Expanse for a second red or our black source. We have a Batter Fist on 2 and a Volt Charge for cheap interaction. Feels keepable to me. But that's a Sawblade Scamp on 1. That can be an issue. Draw another Forest. I think I have to just Expanse for the red source and get the tap land out of the way immediately. But obviously if we draw Glissa, that's going to be a bad time. We still have 3 other black sources in the deck, Swamp and Double Dune Mover. Churning Reservoir with Sawblade Scamp, that is pretty consistent damage. It's a Predation Steward to play, actually better for us than Batter Fist here, because we want to get blocking. Try to last till Dragon Wing Glider. Playing against red-black, and they just pass. So we play Batter Fist, probably attack in with just a 2-2, but then I play Batter Fist and move it to Steward. Post-combat, so that I can attack in and be able to block Scamp. I can attack in without dying to Scamp, and then I can block without dying to Scamp still. But I guess Scamp can just keep tapping infinitely with his Reservoir. Wait, that works when they just remove an oil counter? If an oil counter was removed from a permanent or a permanent was put in grave. Oh, I thought it was only if a permanent was put in the grave. That's kind of nuts here. Reservoir is an issue. Yeah, and then they can just make a Goblin to Wow, we might have to just... I think we have to just Volt Charge the Sawblade Scamp, because now they can just make a Goblin to block the Steward. We need to just make sure they have no creatures with that oil counter ability to go with the Reservoir. Yeah, and we just don't even get into combat here. The Batterfist playing super bad for us. But Glider should be nice. Yeah, wait till they tap Scamp anyway, and then just kill it also. They can't keep churning out 1/1 goblins, they just get one more until they play another creature that has an ability to remove oil. Five mana, Resistance Sky Warden is the play. That's pretty big, and it has reach to stop our Glider, which is pretty bad for us. There's a Glissa. Feels like I want to wait. See if I can get them to Volt Charge something else, and also I can play Glissa with haste if I play her after I Furnace Strider. So I think I'm playing Furnace Strider and passing. I can guarantee some value there. With the hasting Glissa. Well, not guarantee. If they have Volt Charge in hand, they can still just kill Glissa, even if I haste her out. Well, let's hope not. We probably go for Glissa over Dragon Wing right now. Chumpity chump chump. Drop a Hex Gold Halberd. Pass. They're over it. They're already over it. They are not even going to wait and see. They are just certain they don't have outs, and Glissa Sunslayer is going to steal another game. We're now 5-2, 1 win away from qualifying for the qualifier weekend next weekend, and leaving with 6,000 gems. No matter what, that's huge value. We'll have almost 30,000 gems on this account now. Good gravy. Here we are, final boss, win or lose, the final game of Magic for the day. And here we are with the opening hand. We know we can play Sack into Batterfist. We're on the draw. I'm going to keep here, because I know that I can play Batterfist on 2, which is going to reduce the cost of Salvo, so I know I can play Salvo the turn after that, even if I don't draw a land. And if I draw any land, I have Miglaws on 3. If I draw a Swamp or an Evolving Wilds, I have Glissa. This is definitely a keep. It looks a little risky, but we are on the draw. One land makes everything, almost everything in the hand castable. And it's super powerful stuff. So we're going to keep here. Tablet of Completion. Very slow card, but if they have enough proliferate kind of synergies, they could try to do some stuff with that, I suppose. We are going to start things off with Barbed Batterfist. If that becomes a huge problem and they can't kill Miglaws, I guess we can just blow it up. They are on green reg, so it should be a little difficult to kill Miglaws. They'll need like Rebel Salvo, a big spell. I guess now the +1/+2 fight spell would do it now, because they have a 3/3, so they can make that a 4/5 and then fight Miglaws. Would it be worth it to wait on Miglaws to guarantee they can't kill it? I don't think so, because even if Miglaws dies, we have a Furnace Strider coming up, we have like 3/3/3s, we have a Glissa in the late game. I don't think it's worth it to try to play around a potential Ruthless Predation. We just curve out here and hope they don't have it. Because there are a lot of removal spells they could have that will not be good enough. So not only do they need removal, but they need excellent removal. All will be... Whoa! Well, I really hope I don't lose this game. They have 1 mana up here? What is this going to be? Oh, put an oil counter out and shoot Miglaws is the play? So all will be 1. They can tap the tablet and shoot for 1. So I could just kill this enchantment though. So I just take 3 and then I kill all will be 1. So I take 4 then, I guess. And they do shoot our 3/1. This tablet's going to be at 5. They're going to start drawing us. This is actually insane. My opponent is actually just doing the thing. I think I have to kill all will be 1 over the tablet. And if I kill one of those, then I'm not doing anything else with my mana, because it's 3 of my mana for Miglaws to do things. It's actually nuts. Okay. I guess 1 damage every turn. I could still try to outrace and just hit for 4, make a 3/3. Then I Furnace Strider next turn. Cultivator works with all will be 1 as well. No, that seems... I feel like I have to just kill this. I don't really want to put Batterfist on Miglaws. Because then they block it better. The 3 toughness creature. 17, we put them to 12 instead of 13. Yeah, I'll just put them to 13. Alright, oil counter on the tablet. They can start drawing cards with it next turn. There's a Furnace Punisher for a 3/3 menace. Spooky, but I can salvo it. And they're going to pass turn. We can make Miglaws a 6/6. If they go for the double block, they just get demolished. Play Halberd and still hold up salvo. Later. Yeah, I think I'm not Furnace Stridering. We just send in the Miglaws. They go for the double block, we go for the demolish here. I guess if they have Titanic Growth, they get us, because Cultivator can untap for it. That would be the one trick that's big enough. That would be disgusting. No, they just put an oil counter on Cultivator. Okay, I thought they were untapping. I was like, oh, that's nasty. Nope, just get an oil counter, and our burn spell is going to be very good there. Now we drop Halberd with our remaining mana. I want to Batterfist that up. I don't think I really want 1 toughness against green-red. They could have Cinder Slash Ravager, dealing 1 damage to all my creatures. Or Hazardous Blast, dealing 1 damage to all my creatures. So now they're digging with the tablet. Draw another card. And it's Koth, Fire of Resistance, which I'm gonna have to kill.
I'm ready to fight. We have the high ground.
To make sure that thing doesn't pop off and beat us, because all of their mountains will come with 4 damage removal spells if Koth sticks around long enough to ultimate. Okay. If I haste out a Furnace Strider, I have 10 power on board. Koth can kill the 2/2. They could have Proliferate in their deck. They're very much a Proliferate style deck. I think I have to just kill Koth here. Although if I just hit Koth for 4, you know what? That's pretty reasonable. If I hit Koth for 4, Koth can't use the minus ability to kill anything, and they just grab another mountain. That's all they can do. Unless they proliferate and minus. Which is fine, because they wouldn't be proliferating and ultimating anymore. Although I did just spend my mana I was going to use. Never mind. I was like speaking the line out of how it was good, and then actively using my 1 mana that I was going to give Miglaws the Menace with on something completely different, because brain fart style, you know how it is. Yeah, they're just over it. Okay. I don't think I played perfectly today, but we opened up the best deck possible, and I think we built it about as good as we could. And sometimes that's just enough. That's just how sealed is sometimes. Miglaws, Glissa, Dragonwing Glider. The deck is pretty ridiculous. This was the coolest deck we've played against. I I won't lie, I would probably be pretty salty and sad if I did lose, because it is the final boss and I was one win away from making it to the qualification weekend, the qualifier weekend. But out of every deck we've played against, this was the coolest. They had the all will be won in the tablet of completion. Like, out of any deck, I would have rather lost to this deck than any other deck, because that was the most work I've seen all will be won do, where it was like, I guess I have to kill that. They have a tablet on board and the oil thing. So both of those can get a counter every turn. They can do 2 damage to any target every turn. If I make this block, if I don't realize this synergy, I would have just lost my Miglaws and potentially lost the game from there. Yeah, like, they almost got me there. If I went for the block on the 3/3, like, it'd have been over. Miglaws would be gone. We couldn't kill all would be won. They'd have 2 cards on board getting an oil every turn. They just keep everything under control from that point on. So that was insane. Obviously, Koth is great with that. They have a really cool, like, red-green proliferate oily deck. They got that tablet of completion going really quickly and got to actually draw extra cards with it. A bunch of cards that you do not see often that are really hard to get to work, and our opponent really did make them work. It's just unfortunate they got paired up against just the Uber Bomb Miglaws deck over here. So, yeah. That is the end of the qualifier play-in event. It's going to be 6-1 with, again, an atrociously powerful sealed pool. I think most of our opponents played quite a bit better than us, but we just had the nuts in the sealed pool. It's part of the game. That's Magic, baby. Sometimes you're just getting absolutely hosed and you got to say, well, that's Magic, baby. I guess it happens. And then sometimes you just absolutely trounce people with an incredibly lucky sealed pool, and you gotta also take those wins with a grain of salt and be like, well, I don't think this is because I played super well. I think we just opened an incredible sealed pool. I think I built the deck about as well as we could. I'm not unhappy with that, but some of the plays were pretty loose. We just really rode this deck to victory, just riding on the coattails of these really powerful bombs. So again, there's another look at the ridiculous deck if you want to take a peek at that. But let's grab our prizes, and I guess we will be recording the qualifier weekend event next weekend on February 25th. That will be an upcoming video. So some more competitive Phyrexia all will be won limited. Should be a very cool time. Well, that is going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see some more like it, such as the upcoming qualifier weekend video, stay tuned for more. You can always like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you more of these videos in your recommended feeds. If you'd like to hang out with me live, I do stream multiple times a week on the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Outside of that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.